Hi everyone, welcome to our third episode of APRO Corner One-to-One Hard Talk with Alumni. Today, Jimin and I will walk you through this whole episode of APRO Corner, and we have invited 4 amazing alumni who have been in IPS at APRO in the past decade. So I believe everyone is as curious as me and excited to know more about them, so let's get started with the session. So I will start off with the most experienced person in this room, which is Melissa. So hi Melissa,
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself to us? Yeah.
I'm Melissa. I'm from Malaysia. So I was the chairperson in 2009. Sounds so ancient. Till 2011. So it's 2021 now. So I've been like off-grid practically for 10 years, I would say. Yeah. So after APRO, practically I've been focusing more on my career and family on my end. Yeah. What else do you want to know about? It's very boring to work.
No, it's okay. I'm pretty sure like working life is so different. But yeah, thank you for that introduction. So on to the second oldest, probably Brian. So
Longest.
Dora.
I'm actually the youngest one here.
You know, Dora, you look the youngest, that's why.
That's my magic. But I didn't do anything. So.
Yeah, okay, Dora, you can go first.
Dora from Taiwan. My mandate was 2013 to 14. I'm second oldest in this chat. I definitely agree with Melissa. The working life is being very boring compared to IPS life. But we managed, and this kind of meeting, Alumni, I think, definitely bring us back to all the memorable moments. And I work as a clinical pharmacist ever since I graduated. Now I have a second new job. I'm entering the industry for vaccination. Right, starting July.
Wow, congrats on your new job. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, so I hope I don't get the next one wrong. Is it Brian or Mian?
There are only 2 options left.
Brian.
Oh,
I am Mian's RMPO, just so you know.
Okay. Then I think Mian. Yeah.
That's all right. Well, so I'm Mian. I'm from Australia. I was chairperson back in 2014, 2015. So I'm also kind of beginning to show a bit of my age as well. I've been part of IPSS for a decade now. Since then, I've worked as a community pharmacist. I then kind of decided to change the pharmaceutical industry. And recently I decided to change again. And so I've gone back to study medicine. But I suppose perhaps kind of echoing Melissa as well, kind of definitely one of my prize roles at the moment is being a father to my daughter.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like all of you can relate, like most of you. And then how about Brian? Yeah, the youngest one in this room.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Brian. So I am from New Zealand. So I was chairperson of APRO back in 2016, 2017. So I'm the youngest one among all this elderly. But then, as you can see, I probably age a wee bit as well since you came to the working life. Working life is quite different to when you're a student. I am a rural community pharmacist in a small town called Arrowtown in Queenstown in the South Island of New Zealand. Since I graduated, I've been in pretty much the same city since then. So it's very different when you getting into the adult world, I would say, when you're not a student, no longer a student. So I do enjoy the time being a student, but at the same time now get to a stage that we kind of moving forward, start doing some adult stuff, which is very different. Like Mian, we have a kid now, and Dora having new jobs happening, and Melissa is focusing family, career, all different things. Yeah. So the advice I can give all the young ones is actually enjoy the time you have in IPSS, all the friendship you make. Because once you get to the working life, it's a little bit different. It's challenging, can be quite stressful, can be quite different, but it is a life process. You will have to get through this, and you still enjoy it. It's just a different type of fun.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you all for your wonderful introductions. We're really delighted to have you here. So you guys all were the chairpersons of APRO before, and I'm pretty sure being a chairperson is not an easy choice to make at all. So I want to hear what actually makes you want to be one.
Maybe Mian, like what makes you want to be a chairperson? Is there like a specific reason?
Well, I'm probably not the best person because it very much involves someone here, namely Dora. So I think for me, to start off with, no one wanted to be chairperson that year I became chairperson. And I wasn't naive enough to apply thinking it would be easy and all fun and games. This is what Dora taught me. And I probably have to give all the credit to Dora. She's been the chairperson before me. She was very skilled in persuading me. But look, I mean, jokes aside, I mean, I have to thank her for, I suppose, recognizing the potential in me and actually encouraging me to apply. And it's obviously experience and no other. I think for me, it was always about taking that opportunity when it presented itself, and looking for opportunities for myself to grow, and really diving straight into IPSF because it really changed my character, kind of developed me in terms of my confidence, the way in terms of I interact with people, and there's numerous opportunities in terms of travel and, you know, pre-COVID, and, you know, just, yeah, really having opportunities to do something that not your typical pharmacy student would be able to do. So that was kind of my motivation going in. So just taking a leap of faith and then having Dora kind of push me into that role.
My pleasure.
So now we'll have to listen to Dora's story about this.
Well, I definitely got someone to push me into being a chairperson as well, but I started as a regional project officer. So I guess the second year I know more about what kind of project we need to do. And so naturally chairperson is just the second thing to do, to really put my dreams into actions. But everything is different, like it's different from what you have imagined. Chairperson is something you have to think what you should do. And that is, I would say, the start for being an adult. You get to know a lot of people, because you choose this environment and your time is spending in those international things. So you get to compartmentalize your life, your time, and then we are what we do. So, and meeting a lot of people like Nian and Brian, Melissa, of course, and that's just exciting. So I think people definitely is the reason I kept me going and be as a chairperson. You know, when we were a kid, we always think that we look at the bike and we say, hey, I want to learn bike. I think that's the urge. And we have to think of something that we need to do and just push ourselves and do it. And then we do it. It's nothing so difficult. We just go with the flow. And chairperson is definitely one of the things that we need to do when you love about something and you think you're capable of doing something. Yeah.
I think that's a very good motivational force behind it.
Yeah, that's how I persuade young, I guess.
We all have our urge. And Thea, you have one too.
Okay, next day chairperson. No.
Okay,
I'll
so moving on to Melissa, who has succeeded in putting a virtual background. What was your motivational force behind becoming the chairperson?
Well, definitely I would say that I was persuaded into it, but as most, you look at what Ben was saying, that there was nobody that could come in and wanted to run as chairperson. I think that's where most of us actually step up then. Whether first we actually look into ourselves, whether we can do the job first, and whether we love what the organization enough. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. So during 2009, I think, if I'm not wrong, there was actually nobody running for it at all. There was no candidate and everything. And then, I mean, joining IPSF and being exposed to APRO in 2007 for me was a very good experience, to actually learn about all the cultures, learn about the profession through so many friends that I've met along the way. So I thought that being a chairperson and being one from Malaysia, we could bring this into our own country to expose the students here, especially in Malaysia, because frankly speaking, a lot of Malaysian students are they're not so verbal. We're very quiet people. Yeah, if somebody says yes, we say yes as well. So it was good to kind of bring that experience to Malaysia, and I guess this was the first step that we went to. But definitely, the other thing is that I've always been also very active in student organizations. So I thought of what I could do to bring like I said, Malaysian student organization into IPS and APRO. And at that time, I think we were very good friends with Taiwan at the time, especially good friends because my close friend is Jane, right? Dora will know her. We have been roommates since like IPSF times.
Definitely my mentor.
Yeah. So I mean, two of us. No, Taiwan and Malaysia has always been there. We've never had full membership. So we're always sitting together, and it was I guess it's this relationship that we have that both of us actually, even Jane stepped up to becoming one of our IPS and exco and things like that. So it was good. It was a good it was a good time, and everybody came together, and because I think we love the organization. I mean, frankly speaking, that's why most of the time if you tell me to come back and do something for APRO, I'll find some time to come back. Yeah. So that's me. You know, it's that love for the organization. That's why we're here. We're all here. Yeah.
Love for the organization. Yes, I love this organization too. Okay, so last but not least, Brian, do you have any unique special reasons you wanted to become?
I think getting to my generation, or Mian's generation, but what happened is, as Dora, Melissa, and Mian say in the past, there's no one really wants around, they're willing to take up the challenge. I think after Mian's generation, or our year back in 2014, 2015, I think we did a really good job and everyone really enjoyed it. And from there on, I think there's always competition within IPSF for the election for the chairperson role, or most of the roles. And I think it's what we did, we work hard and then we make the team enjoyable, the job is fun, and that's a good thing. And looking up to me and, oh, he's great. I want to be him one day. I want to be him and have my own RWG. And the role is challenging and you actually get to do different things as well. How are you going to manage a regional? And that's probably what drives me to do it a couple of years later, after being in a fun year with the RWG. And I'm glad to see now, I think moving forward with the current RWGs or the last couple of years, it seems to be everyone's having fun, which is good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, maybe we should pick someone to tell us about the good side and the bad side of IPSF APRO so that people can't say that we are biased. Maybe let's start with Dora. Can you tell us what was your toughest moment at APRO? Like, when did you feel like giving it up?
APRO has its very obvious difficulty, which is we don't talk. In a meeting, in the GA, we don't express our opinion. And that's just sad, because we probably, I'm proud to say, APRO is the most hardest working region among all the other regions. It's just we don't express, and that's a shame. And I've been trying to find ways in how to persuade our members to speak up. And we do different sessions. We have our own meetings and practice and come up with something that we all agree on and point someone to express it. So I think that's definitely the hardest thing that I faced, and I still have no perfect way to, solution to that. I hope the next generation, someone who's listening, you get to speak up, and things are going to change. We're awesome. APRO really awesome. It's just you have to let people know about that. Yeah.
I agree with
something.
You so much.
Yeah,
is that really biased?
It's
not really a bad thing. I'm trying to phrase in cons. I can't think of something that APRO is not good at. Guys, you help me out. Is something bad about APRO? I can't think of anything.
I think what you said, Dora, actually it's all about encouragement. Like the APRO members, they have the ability. They can be great. They can speak up, and they actually bring some really good points in GA. But it's more like confidence, and it's more like an Asian culture. And I think as us, we have to encourage them. And sometimes, we're always talking about equity. Like we need to give them the right support to get them to able to perform well. And I think that's what the region is lacking. And I think it's in a good improving progress, but it just takes time. And you got to find the right people as well. And then hopefully it can go down with generations. One generation see how the one did before, and they can keep working on it and enhance it. And I think we will get there. We are on the right track. And it takes time and the right people. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Credit to everyone in the organization, like APRO as a region. I mean, I think year on year, people I've definitely seen improvement. And I think each year, they become a role model for the people to follow. I think even us as a group, I think we've really seen the growth of a lot of our members, and it's vastly different. remembering back when perhaps me, Dora, and even Melissa's time to what I see now in the current mandate. So yeah, I think credit to the organization. APRO has done fantastically recently.
I think things have changed a lot, I would say, because of, I think, when I met, I think the last APRO that I went was in Bandung, and I noticed people speak up more. Really, what Dora said is very true. It's culture, it's us. We're not the type to really speak up much. We do speak up when we feel that the view is not correct. But you think about it, it's not a point of the confidence or anything, because I do see that in 2019 in Bandung, the confidence is there, in most of us. But it's our culture. It's like, Asian culture, we do respect everybody's views more, and of course we respect the more mature and elderly. So we don't tend to just shout out what our views are and things like that. That's always us. We will try to listen, take in that opinion, and then only come back in another way, in a nicer way. So that's what I see. But I think it has changed a lot. Last time we don't even hear anything, but at least now during meetings, during regional meetings, there is something that people are voicing out their concerns, which is good. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Do you have something you want to add?
Oh, I mean, just a reflection on that. I mean, just as a follow-on, I think we're starting to see a lot more of APRO representation in the kind of global roles in IPSF as well. I don't know if that's just my perception of what I've seen, but I feel like, there's definitely people kind of stepping up and kind of moving into those global roles, which perhaps was more dominated by other regions in the past.
Yeah, there's definitely more people in global. Yeah, you can go on, Farah.
And being a chairperson, you have to see, you have to take care of all the countries, and they're all your babies, and you get to see, if Japan speak to you last this meeting, how you're going to help them. And most of the times they just need more time to prepare for the document, and that they need more time to understand what's going on. And some Japanese are amazing. Their rules are, I hope they still think, they're OD, they're training the next OD, and they always have 3 ODs in the room, and with older and middle generation and the youngest generation. I think that's amazing. So that's the good thing. APRO, we have our stab bags, we have our difficulties, but we have things and ways to overcome those. It's just being as a chairperson, you have to know what they are doing and how they are improving, and encourage from that standpoint. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So since Dora, you started talking about the toughest moment, maybe you can finish with the opposite. What was your happiest moment at APRO?
Well, the happiest moment is definitely when we get funds, when we have our allies trying to form a stronger relationship and having a joint program. That's really awesome, because that means you're doing something right and people get to see that. So that's definitely the happiest moment. It's just it's also very difficult to circulate news among the team, and when they don't understand, you don't have someone to celebrate with you. So that's when me and Brian comes up. Like, those people with you, they understand what you have done and they celebrate what you have achieved. That's the happiest moment. Definitely the happiest.
Funny for me though, the happiest moment is actually what we're talking about just now. In the GA in 2017 in Taiwan, I think I managed to convince every single member in APRO to speak up in GA once. Ironically, New Zealand was the last one to talk. I was really surprised, but but that was another thing, because some of them, you can tell they are just really not willing to speak in front of like a whole GA room. But then I'll keep like also on the stage, I'll keep messaging them in Facebook and just kind of, hey, go and say something, And I think it helps to boost their confidence. So that's actually one thing I do remember. I know it's like 4 or 5 years ago now, but now it's still like, something I feel I did well. I achieved something.
Yeah, that's like really good. It's like, I cannot imagine now, because I never really attend any physical event at all. Even GA that I've attended is like all online, all virtual. So everyone just keep quiet, because we have the option. Yeah. So yeah,
all of them are pulling a fast one on you, because I can tell you actually their most happiest time is when they find a successor. Come on, guys, don't lie.
Yes, you're right. Oh my God.
Don't lie. We found somebody.
The day you step down.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that will happen again. And I just really hope after the whole COVID thing, the culture, the tradition is still there. I'm just really worried about this quite a bit of a generation gap after 2 or 3 years. People who have been to Congress, and probably like all the ones are new and no one really know what's going to happen. That's my biggest concern. Yeah. And
then that's for my generation onwards. Like, no one's been to APPS or like World Congress physically. Everything is just online. Yeah. But okay, so moving back to our main topic, right? From what you have mentioned and what I have done a bit of research on you, okay, but not the years, we realized that Mian has a very interesting career journey, like from a pharmacy student to a medical student. So can you possibly tell us what you did and how you decided to become one?
Okay. I mean, my passion's always been clinical pharmacy and having a really strong patient focus. and really putting the patient at the center of our care. And I think that's kind of the new standard in terms of what we're looking at in terms of medical practice anyway. So I think pharmacy, I very much enjoyed it, and IPS definitely made it very, very memorable. I think moving into career-wise, I was looking a bit more in terms of more than just community pharmacy. And so my first step was to kind of transition into pharmaceutical industry and working within medical affairs. And that was fantastic because you look at that kind of broader kind of upstream levels of health. But you still kind of crave that kind of patient interaction and that making it different for individual patients. And so looking for that challenge and I suppose wanting that kind of patient focus again, I decided to make the step of transitioning to medicine. I think medicine was always always at the back of my mind. That's something I could pursue as well. But yeah, I suppose just after all the experiences I've had in pharmacy, I was just looking for something new, something that was challenging, and something that was again clinical and focused on patients. So that's why I made the change.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it's really tough decision to make for the transition, but I think you make it for the better, and it's really impressive. So maybe how about Dora, because you're transitioning into industry soon. So from clinical pharmacist in a hospital to industry in July. So congrats on your new job. So are you excited? Like what have changed since you first began your work?
And I've always think being a pharmacist, you actually have to see a lot of patients and interact with doctors. I think that's the main reason why I spent my almost 7 years in clinical field. And now I think it's about time for me to step out of what I think is too professional to do and to work on something else, to be more IPS life again, get to meet a lot of people, join a lot of international symposiums. And for the past seven years, I think I'm not just being a clinical pharmacist, because IPS definitely, it's something that changed me because I'm prone to it. I want those experiences to stay in my current life. So 2 years in clinical pharmacist, but second 2 years I start a association, which is also international but pharmacy based. And then the second year, I switched to hematologist and oncology department. And the second years, I switched to international healthcare center. So that choices definitely showcase what kind of person I am. I'm not a person who's willing to stay at the same status quo on the third year, because I change every 2 years. So yeah, I'm literally everywhere, like you said, but we all only have 24 hours, so I do have to sacrifice some of my time. So I'm about to, this is more like a confession. If you messaged me and I didn't reply, that's only because I forgot. Please just message me again. Yeah, too busy. But yeah, I utilized my time. I limited my sleeping hour to 4 hours, sometimes even less. So I get to do more things in my daytime and nighttime and spend time with my family as well. So that's one way of being exciting. You get to sacrifice some of your other time, and those can be very difficult, but that's also one of my motto: find a place where there is joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. That's actually very not too depressing. It's actually very encouraging. And I have to apologize, I have another meeting which is next room, so I have to excuse myself, but this has been a very nice meeting, and so happy to see all the old friends' faces, and we have been postponing our meetups every year for the COVID, but I guess I hope the next generation you guys get to meet sometime, so the sparks will definitely come when it's time.
Goodbye, Dora. I know you're busy.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for coming.
See you, Dora.
Thank you, Dora.
Talk to you next time.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's sad. Oh yeah, she sacrificed a lot.